There's something incredibly tragic about silence, not the peaceful kind, but the kind that comes from a soul slowly fading away in a quiet corner. Unnoticed, unheard, forgotten. This is not a story of a wild animal in the forest. This is the story of a bird. A bird in a cage, a bird that once sang. And then it stopped. But why did it stop? Why do we, as humans, buy life? Only to lock it away. Why do we seek joy from nature? Only to imprison it. Today, we're going to tell the story of one small bird, but in truth, it's a story about us all. It all began with joy. A family walked into a pet shop. Bright lights, rows of cages, the chirping of tiny creatures looking for a home. A little yellow bird caught their eye. Fluffy, energetic, full of life. They bought the bird. The kids were excited. The parents were amused. It was meant to bring happiness into their home. The cage was set up near a window. Fresh food, clean water, a few toys. The bird had a name now. It was part of the family. It chirped. It sang. It fluttered. Everyone smiled. For a moment, it seemed like love, but time moved on. As it always does, the excitement faded. The children found other things to play with. The parents got busier with work. The cage wasn't moved anymore. The water wasn't changed as often. The food ran low sometimes. And the bird kept singing until it didn't. Its chirps grew quieter. Its wings stretched less. Its eyes, once full of energy, seemed duller. No one noticed. No one asked. No one heard the silence begin. The bird was alive, but not really living. Day after day, the same small space, now pushed into a corner near a curtain, away from sunlight. A creature born to fly, reduced to a few inches of movement. It stared through the bars, not even knowing what freedom felt like anymore. It had never truly flown, never felt the wind, never seen the sky. To the family, it was still there, still alive, still part of the house. But what they didn't see was that the bird had already left in spirit. Emotionally, it was gone. Why do we do this? Why do we take something wild and beautiful and shrink it, not just with birds, but with all kinds of animals? Fish in bowls too small, dogs chained alone in yards, cats left without love. Sometimes, we don't even mean to be cruel. We just forget. We get distracted. We think that food and water are enough. But what about attention? What about movement? What about life? Imagine never leaving a room for your entire existence. Imagine being born in a prison and never knowing freedom. Would food be enough then? Birds don't cry. They don't shout. They don't complain. They suffer in silence. Their sadness shows in the stillness of their wings. In the songs, they no longer sing. This bird, like so many others, had no voice, but its story speaks louder than words. It reminds us that love is not a one-time gift. It's a commitment, that caring for a life means seeing it, hearing it, being there, even when it's not entertaining. Months passed. Dust gathered on the cage. The family still lived their lives. Birthdays, vacations, holidays. Sometimes they'd glance at the cage and think, oh, we still have the bird. But they didn't have it. They simply owned a body. Its spirit had grown tired. And one morning, it was gone, quietly, without drama. Just gone. No last chirp. No goodbye. Just a still body in a corner, and a silence too loud to ignore. This story isn't rare. It's not dramatic or exaggerated. It's the quiet truth happening in homes across the world. We bring animals into our lives thinking they'll make us happy, but we forget they're not decorations. They're living souls. They don't just need food. They need freedom. They need interaction. They need life. A cage, no matter how golden, is still a cage. And love, no matter how well-intentioned, is not love if it ends in neglect. If you've ever owned a pet or plan to, please remember, every creature you bring into your home is a life, a heart, a soul, and every life deserves more than survival. It deserves to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, not just at the beginning, but every day until the very end. If this story made you pause for even a moment, let it be a reminder to notice, to care, to never forget the silent ones in the corners of our lives, because sometimes the most heartbreaking tragedies are the ones that happen in silence.